Welcome, Mrs. Keene. Recently, I was researching various aspects of happiness and came across some profound quotes from Abdu'l-Bahá, the son of the founder of the Bahá'í Faith. His insights on happiness are quite intriguing and I thought we could explore them together. Here are the quotes. Happiness is a psychological condition, created in brain, mind and heart. If a man becomes touched with the divine spark, even though he be an outcast and oppressed, he will be happy and his happiness cannot die. The heart is never at rest and never finds real joy and happiness until it attaches itself to the eternal. Let's delve into these one by one. Starting with the first quote, Abdu'l-Bahá says, happiness is a psychological condition, created in brain, mind, and heart. What are your thoughts on this, Mrs. Keene?
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. This quote beautifully encapsulates the holistic nature of happiness. Modern psychology supports this view, showing that happiness involves our brain chemistry, cognitive processes, and emotional states. For instance, material wealth can reduce stress and increase happiness through neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin.
Absolutely. Pleasant experiences enhance our cognitive well-being by creating positive memories and reinforcing positive thought patterns. This aligns with the concept of subjective well-being in psychology. But what about the emotional aspect?
Positive feelings towards life and people are crucial. Research shows that strong social connections and a sense of purpose significantly contribute to long-term happiness. However, even with these elements, something seems to be missing for complete happiness. This brings us to the second quote, if a man becomes touched with the divine spark, even though he be an outcast and oppressed, he will be happy and his happiness cannot die.
Indeed. Abdu'l-Bahā's notion of the divine spark suggests a spiritual dimension that integrates and elevates our happiness. This spark can be seen as the energy that bonds the different aspects of our well-being, much like how energy maintains coherence in complex systems.
Exactly. Neuroscientific research supports this idea. Studies using brain imaging techniques like fMRI and PET scans have shown that spiritual practices can induce neuroplasticity, leading to structural and functional changes in the brain that enhance well-being. This suggests that spiritual engagement can provide the necessary energy to integrate and sustain the different aspects of happiness.
To make this more concrete, consider an example. If a power grid is not connected to its energy source, it cannot sustain the electricity needed to power homes and businesses. Similarly, if our happiness is not connected to its source of energy, what Abdu'l-Bahá refers to as the eternal connection, it may not be sustainable. This connection provides the continuous energy needed for true, joyful happiness.
That's a great analogy. Just as a power grid needs a constant energy source to function, our holistic happiness requires a continuous spiritual connection to remain sustainable. This spiritual connection, or divine spark, not only provides a sense of purpose and meaning, but also has tangible effects on our brain and overall well-being.
This brings us to the third quote, the heart is never at rest and never finds real joy and happiness until it attaches itself to the eternal. How do you interpret this in the context of our discussion?
This quote suggests that true joy and happiness require a connection to something eternal and unchanging. This aligns with the idea that while material wealth, pleasant experiences, and positive feelings are important, they may not be sufficient for complete happiness. The divine spark or spiritual connection acts as the integrating energy that brings coherence and depth to our well-being.
So, the divine spark or spiritual connection not only provides a sense of purpose and meaning but also has tangible effects on our brain and overall well-being. This brings us to the practical application of these concepts. How can we implement this understanding to achieve true joy?
One practical approach is to incorporate spiritual practices into our daily lives. Practices like meditation, prayer, and mindfulness can help us connect with the present moment and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Research has shown that these practices can reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and enhance overall well-being.
Additionally, fostering authentic relationships and practicing gratitude and compassion can further enhance our sense of connection and fulfillment. Studies have demonstrated that strong social connections and a sense of community are crucial for long-term happiness. By integrating these practices, we can create a more holistic and enduring sense of joy.
Absolutely. It's about finding balance and integrating all aspects of our well-being, material, cognitive, emotional, and spiritual. By doing so, we can address the deeper existential questions and achieve a heart that is truly at rest, as Abdu'l-Bahá suggests.
Well said, Mrs. Keene. By understanding and applying these principles, we can transform our happiness into a more profound and lasting joy. Thank you for this enlightening discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. It's been a pleasure exploring these concepts with you.